Oh, hey, hi, how are you? Hi, hi, hi. Welcome, welcome. So it is Saturday. It is about 12:20 in the afternoon, and I decided to do an impromptu live because I can. And I haven't done it in a while. And I thought, hey, I just say hello to people. And right now, letting my wife know I am doing this. So she knows that, hey, might be a good time not to come in singing at the top of her lungs. Not that she ever does that. Yeah, saying. And I reckon I should go out there on the other interwebs and let other folks know that I'm live. Not that everybody won't get the same message eventually, but I'll throw that over here on this other screen and I'll go out to the Facebook for Carnivore Scott. Hello. Hey, Susan, how are you? Yes, you caught me live. How are you? You good? I thought I'd let people know that I'm live because I don't do that very much. But hey, I thought if I did it now, why is it doing it? Okay, I'm live now. Here we go. Boom. And post. There. Now it's on the webpage. So you've been doing well? How's it been going? Yeah, hey, 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 hey. I know that I've been remiss in all of this, but pardon me. I normally like to come to these things dressed. I apologize for that. Um, on a Saturday with not a lot of agenda. No, I really don't. I was driving down the road. I know there's a song that talks about that. And I was thinking to myself, self, what is it that people are looking for? And I think I know a lot of this, and I understand that what people are looking for, but I'm talking in the carnivore space, maybe even in the space of those who are not in carnivore, but they're looking for changes in their lives. This is going to be a place. So, yes, Sandra, I remember. Oh, good, sweet mother of pearl. It is Sandra. I have it actually written down here too. I just I was trying to multitask, and I guess that's not really my strong suite is not multitasking, that's for sure. Um, I spent this week doing something I haven't done for a while, and that is I got a job. And and so there I am. See, I knew I had a card. See, I didn't have to write it all down. I have a card, it's right there. Oh, if I only had a brain that worked on command as I designed it. Anyhow, I got a job this past pay period. 2 weeks now I've been working. No, we are not actually, I don't think anybody multitasks. I know the, psychiatrists and the neurologists have measured that. However, in general, we're not good at going from task to task. Women have a lot more innovation in their brains, in their bodies. And so their wiring is everywhere and they're doing lots of pass and the guy pass, like, singing on the way. Very easily distracted too, I might add. But yeah, so I, I have notes and papers all over. I'm not an organized person. I'm not a neat and tidy person, but I have a cup of fresh brewed coffee. Got my coffee. I'm ready to go. I blended in some butter and some heavy cream. I also happen to have here a Seasons Greetings uh, glass from work that has some freshly mixed up egg yolks. So I have a little egg yolk colada. Yeah. Mm. And I'm ready to go. Women are good at multitasking because our brains have more. That's right. There's more innovation. There's no end if, or, and but about that. Not debatable. Some men may be quick, might get one of those called acquired savant syndrome. I'm sure you've heard of that before, right, Sandra? Because this whole this whole acquired savant syndrome, like get hit in the head with a baseball or a rock or a car accident or some type of head injury. And 6 to 8 to 12 weeks later, all of a sudden, your brain is much more wired in a certain way. And all of a sudden, these people are savants. Yeah, that is not me. I've had plenty of hits in my head, but never did it work out well enough that I ended up being a savant. And yeah, that's all I know. And I was talking with Dr. Chafee. No, I wasn't. Dr. Chafee was doing one of his many um, um, forums. And in his forum, I was talking about TBIs and how does being in a ketogenic state and ketosis help with TBIs, particularly older TBIs. And he basically told me, well, most of the research that is shown to deal with TBIs is on recent TBIs, and mine are decades ago. But something tells me we just don't know. We just don't know. So ketogenic diet it is for me. I'm in ketosis. I have my handy dandy Keto Mojo, but I'm out of strips. And I'm going to be out of strips until next week because payday is going to roll around. And I told myself I wasn't going to spend the family money chasing these things of mine, these additional health concerns or health markers. So when the paycheck comes in from the new job, then I will buy some more strips. Yeah. So I don't know if you had watched it all, Sandra, but I put out kind of a silly little video this week. It was a video where I'm trying to be like the Riddler. Riddle me this, right? I had been watching a video by Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and she, in her video, was talking about the importance and issue with folate. So I was looking that up, and yep. Well, here's the deal with the egg yolks. Oh, Dr. Rhonda Patrick. Well, what I'll do is I'll bring. You have probably seen videos of her because she is basically all over the interwebs, right? Yeah, folate. Yeah, folate versus folic acid, right? So hold on there, Maverick. See if I can do a share screen here. Present. Share screen, share screen. Here she is talking about fish oils. And you can see her right there. I'll try to embiggen it if I can. There we go. There she is, Dr. Rhonda Patrick. Anyway, she's all over the place, and she's really capable, and she's a real big advocate for not eating processed foods, going whole, going natural, and those types of things. But I'm trying to get my screen back. There we go. Dr. Rhonda Patrick. Yep. Folate. Yep. So folate B9. Dr. Ben Lynch. I don't know Ben Lynch. Now folic acid. Well, folic acid. I can't say it's a fake stuff, but they say the folic acid that they put in your vitamins and stuff is much more available than folate. But there's a reason for that. And I believe that the reason is we're not supposed to get massive jolts of anything to our system. We're not supposed to have massive jolts of sugar or iron or any of that stuff. We're meant to have it's all, and we were meant to ingest based on the way it was designed by God, and that's that. One of the many reasons, yes, in rich flour, it became a law in 1980 something. They actually mandated it that folate would be put in the food supply. Here's the deal: if you don't have folate, you're gonna die. It's gonna be really bad. The thing is, without folate, and they say now, RDA and all that. Let's just put RDA out there, right? But the RDA is a benchmark. It says you need about 400 micrograms a day of folate. How are you gonna get 400 grams? Now, here's a challenge for carnivores. This happened to me last year, and I'm gonna pull up my iron panel. Last summer, early fall, I was really woozy and not well at all, and I really felt sick. And I thought it was the electrolytes, and I had electrolytes, but I didn't help. Then I went to get a blood test, and I said I was critically low on iron. And I was selling my plasma, but I stopped doing that because, okay, maybe that's it. The truth is that folate mainly comes in green leafy vegetables, vegetables, some fruits. There's not many meat sources of folate. Liver's a great source of folate. So liver is, chicken liver is okay, but beef liver is the best. And shrimp has some, shellfish, some fish, but not much. And you're supposed to get 400 micrograms a day. The other thing that's good, eggs. Eggs are surprisingly good, particularly eggs that are not necessarily free range, because free range chickens will eat free range bugs, and you don't find folate in the bugs. It's mainly found in the feed. Another reason to have some feed in the food supply. Anyhow, so your body will store about 1,000 to 2,000 micrograms a day. Well, it stores, not a day. It stores the 2,000. You need 400. If you're not getting almost any, you'll go through that. And it's actually 1,000 to 20,000. So you can have about 3 days to 40 days worth of folate on board. What happened when your folate is low, when part of what folate does is it's part of the pool of substrate for your DNA, for DNA work and the replication of your DNA. And if it's not available, your body will use RNA in its place and make weaker DNA. So it's extraordinarily important to have enough folate in your body. And they say, let's say you're taking supplements, and let's say you're a vegan. A vegan will have a horrible, horrible vitamin B12 deficiency, but they can mask it with super amounts of folate they get in their diet. But you still have the vitamin B deficiency, and that can lead to permanent physiological damage. Got to get your folate, and you got to have your vitamin B12. And oh, by the way, folate, vitamin B9, it's not even really what they call a vitamin. And it's kind of funny that way, kind of like vitamin D is not a vitamin, it's a hormone. But B9 is called that because they had to call it something, and there are only 8 B vitamins. More useless things stuck to my head. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But back to it. If you're eating eggs, one egg can give you anywhere between 10 to 20% of the folate, mainly found in the egg. Much more available to you if you cook your eggs. So having all the raw eggs isn't really a folate thing, but I'll normally eat 6 to 9 cooked eggs a day. Then I'll drink 4 to 6 egg yolks a day. So I'm getting plenty of egg. Now, I only put heavy cream in that one. Sometimes I'll add melted butter and do it up to it. It's really good. So anyway, I just thought that today I'd come up in here, do a live, and see what people want to talk about, what they want to get off their chest, so to speak. Folate, yep, folate, not folic acid. Good. Again, folate, it's a little less bioavailable, but it comes in the form that the body was used to. I really begin to think that is the key to our dietary woes, if you want to put it that way. That we were meant to eat foods that were available in season, available at the original genetic makeup. So I'm not so much against GMO because it's man facilitated. I've actually watched how they make the GMOs. All they've done is accelerated natural selection, and they may be creating a problem because our bodies aren't caught up to digesting it properly and fully like we are for the original things. Original apples, they weren't very sweet. Original strawberries were kind of like only the size of my little fingernail, right? And you just didn't find really sweet, super available, super large fruits and vegetables. You found bug-ridden, bitter, tart things, and you had to wash the dirt off of them and peel them off. And they were there because, well, you couldn't find little Peter Cottontail. Oh, hello, baby. How's baby? Baby, you good? I have the little dog jumped up on my chair here. There she is. Miss Baby, you good? Okay. Hi, Tink. You want to come up and say hi? Here. No? You don't want to say hi? Oh, you don't? Yeah, they're sisters. But anyhow, I think that eating food in the way it generally was put on this earth and for us in the manner it was first created is probably best for us. I even heard Dr. Barry the other day talking about he and Nisha and the kids, they eat fruit in season for the 2, 3 weeks it's in season, and they don't feed their faces with it. I think Dr. Paul Saladino is onto something when he was talking about how fruit was important for the kidneys to pick up electrolytes in the whole process. So I don't know. I'm sure Dr. Baker and Dr. Chafee are in picture perfect health, but if you're already in health and you're doing something extreme, I think you have more latitude. But if you're already out of whack, there may be some issues with being too focused on only eating ruminant meat 24/7. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. If it doesn't say no, I don't. But that's right, meat. Well, I don't know. They're starting to make that funny meat there, Sandra. And they're putting crickets and things. So there'll be a time. There'll be a time, I'm sure, but not in my lifetime. And I'm not going to stay worried about it. I don't think that's going to be the issue. I think long before we have issues with crickets and lab grown meat, we're going to have issues with the hate and deceit and divisiveness of human nature impacting our well being long, long before that. Long before that. I mean, just looking at what's happening on some of the college campuses today in the country, I would think that we should be concerned about other things. Maybe I'm simplifying things too much. I don't know. I'm just an old man over the hill trying to share a few thoughts with folks on a Saturday of all times. Have you noticed, Sandra, that there's a whole bunch of people doing lives and doing videos and doing programs almost around the clock. I mean, from about 2 in the afternoon on. I even saw something early in the week from Homestead How, where Carrie was on with Jen, and I know they're out filming with Adam. The airwaves are getting just filled with more and more, and that's a good thing. Matter of fact, there's a Facebook group called what is it, World Carnivore Tribe? The World, I believe. I'm gonna go back and check, make sure I have it right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for it. I'm not the sharpest tool, but I want to say it's the World Carnivore. No, carnivore. I want to say World Carnivore Tribe. Some Dr. Sean Baker, puts up. And I have to be honest with you. I wasn't sure how many people in my area were doing carnivore, so I put in there and I said, I said, "Hey, anybody here from Northern Alabama, Huntsville area?" And I got 20, 25 responses, like 45 comments so far. I think I'm going to have to see if we can put together a meetup here in North Alabama. It's only 90 minutes to Nashville, 2 hours plus to get you to Chattanooga, an hour to Birmingham, 2 hours to uh, Fort McPherson there in down at say 2.5 hours to Tuscaloosa. So we could cover a lot of territory with that. Oh, you're not on his tribe? Okay, I get that. Well, anyway, I just thought, hi, I'm out here. I kind of held my hand up, like, hey, anybody else out there around me, carnivore? And I found a few carnivores who've been that way for 5 years or more. And one of them, her husband, has a food truck and he sells um, pork rinds, pork belly and stuff. So I went out to get some. Little did I realize it isn't open till 4 o'clock. He only is open for serving dinner. So no pork rinds. Did I need them? No. I have pork belly in my fridge. I went and bought a package of pork belly. It came in strips. And so what I did is I took it and broke those strips down and to like basically 1-inch cubes. And then I put them into different baggies and put them in the freezer. And that way I could pull out a baggie like I did today because I finished last week's baggie yesterday. And I pulled the baggie out and got a baggie of cubes. And now all this week in the morning time, what I normally do is I make myself about 6 to 8 to 9 scrambled eggs. And after I scramble those eggs with about 3 tablespoons of butter, and then after I get them all scrambled up, while that's going, I go ahead and first start the pork bellies in my little air fryer. So by the time I'm done with the eggs, I start stirring the egg and maybe some sausage or bacon. And about midway through, I go and I flip the pork bellies around so there's a little change on direction. When that's all done, take the eggs out, put them in the bowl with the other meat I might have, like if I have a half pound of burger or something. And then I bring the little container with the pork bellies that I cooked, put those on top of my eggs, pour a little bit of the fat from that in over my eggs, and I've saved the rest of the rendered fat into an airtight jar. And I go and I have my breakfast. And I don't know, it's about 1,100, 1,200 calorie breakfast. Pretty stout. I'm not thinking about food at all until at least 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I don't want to do OMAD. I don't want to do OMAD, but I do the 2MAD. So I have a meal with my wife and then I might snack, but I'm having a hard time getting my protein. Are you having a hard time with that at all, Sandra? I have such a hard time with getting my protein in. It's just no bueno. For my height and my normal body weight, my lean body weight is about 200 pounds. About. Used to be a little bit more. I'm sure it's less now, but not by a whole bunch. But my lean body mass is about 200 pounds. So with 200 pounds lean, I need about 200 grams of protein a day. That's not easy. That is not easy. OMAD just falls on my lap. Yeah, exactly. I get it. Yeah, 2MAD. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I still think that we're saving money in the long run. We're not buying vegetables. We're not having to buy a lot of seasonings. We're not buying any garnishments or condiments, right? We're not buying any vegetables, not buying fruits, by and large. You're not buying any desserts, any flour, any bread, any buns, any of that. All those things we don't buy anymore. So I think that kind of offsets the cost of meat. Plus, I'm not throwing out much meat. I am not. I'll normally cook too much. My wife will cook too much because she loves me. She's helping. She's not embracing this by any means, but she's not speaking against it, and she'll cook for me, and I normally do a lot of the cooking, but she'll cook it up too. And so maybe she makes too much because she's, I want to make sure you have enough. Not enough. But she'll make it up, and then we'll have leftovers. And about every 3 days, it's like, well, it's leftover meal day. So what do we have? Like last night, I want to say was leftover meal day, and a couple days ago it was leftover. And so it's like sausage and pork belly and chicken and beef and shrimp all in one plate. Pretty good. And I even did some hard boiled eggs. Yeah. Well, soft hard boiled eggs. So it's pretty good. Uh yeah, see now that fat part too, and I get that. I absolutely get that, Sandra. I was having a I'm not getting a protein. I'm getting a lot more than I ever did before. You figure 6 eggs, 7 grams of protein, that's 42 grams of protein right there. And so I think I'm probably getting close to 100 grams a day, maybe more, but I'm not getting enough. And I know this is true. In fact, I'm gonna look up real quick. What's your primary meat that you eat there, Sandra? Are you mainly a hamburger, or are you a steak? What do you call it? I got go 80/20 ground beef nutrition. So if I like to go to Nutritionix, and if I say a 4 ounce, so 4 ounce serving of ground beef will give you about 20 grams. So if I take that to 16 ounces, because I can do that with a quick click. So 16 ounces, 1 pound of hamburger, 1,200 calories, 92 grams of fat, and only 76 grams of protein. For me to get all the protein I'm supposed to eat, I should probably be eating 2 pounds of hamburger. I can't. I don't think get that much in my body. I can get 3/4 pounds, about the most I can get at any one time in my body. So maybe if I did 3/4 pounds, so let's go with 12 ounces, right? So if I went with 12 ounces give me 57 grams of protein, three of them be 150 grams, plus my half dozen eggs, and I would be there. That's a lot of eating. A beef ribeye, strip ground. You're not crazy about the ground. I get that. I get that. I would like to eat ribeye. I think definitely. I love New York strip. Now, what I can say, I wonder if I can put this up here like this and go ribeye. I went by my local grocer today, and that which is the military commissary, and I asked the butcher, a helper, can I just buy the whole primal cut? They get it in big boxes and break it down. And she said, yes. And then I said, how much? And she said, I don't know. And she was doing her work. I said, well, look, why don't you go finish what you're doing? I got to do some more shopping. I'll come back and you can tell me how much it is. Well, I came back and it wasn't there. 85/15 or 80/20. I do 80/20. I like 70/30. I got the ribeye up here, and it's saying for 3 ounces of ribeye, no way. I'm gonna say 8 ounces because that's a half a pound. All right, 8 ounces of ribeye is only 600 calories, roughly, 42 grams of fat, and 56 grams of protein. So a half a pound of ribeye has more protein in it than 3/4 pound of burger. Yeah. But burger is 4.50 a pound. Ribeye is 12.50 a pound or more. Or more. Huh. Plenty of iron too. 30% of your iron is in a half a pound of ribeye. Did you know? Hmm. Anyhow, um, I asked the young lady and she never came back to me. She never came back to me. Yeah, you can. That's right. Well, I do the reason I do a lot of ground. I can throw a pound or two of hamburger in the frying pan, fry it all up, ground it, mix it up, ground up, and then loosely, and then the wife can do with part of what she wants to do, and I can have the rest. So I can do the patties. I mean, I'll eat it any way you want to serve it. But sometimes I just like it like that because then I'll leave it kind of larger pieces. I won't break it down to little fine pieces, and then when I mix it in with my eggs in the morning, it's pretty good. But either way, it's really not a big deal. What I want to do though is I want to get a primal cut. I've been watching the Butcher Dad and some other people, the bearded butchers, and I was thinking go to Costco or go to a commissary and maybe I can get it. I mean, if I could get the whole chuck for $9 a pound, I can break out the chuck eye steaks. I can break out the chuck roast and take the rest of that chuck, grind it up, and have plenty of meat at a much lower cost. But I have to take a look and put it in a spreadsheet and see if it's worth my effort there. Yep, larger piece can be pink inside. That's right. I like my meat to be medium. Yeah, I go medium to medium rare, right? Um, Maybe medium a little more. I can't have it rare. No, not happening. Not having it rare. It's a texture thing for me. I just don't like it that way. But if I can get it medium rare, yeah. And when we ordered a cow, and the cow is still growing up. Yeah, I think you've heard me talk about my cow deal. Have I talked to you? Have you been in on my cow deal? Medium rare to rare, yeah. Okay. I get that. But in our cow deal, listening to Carrie talk last winter about cows and me doing this carnivore, I decided there's somebody in my church who's a farmer knowing the cow deal. So I got someone in the church he's a financial advisor, and his wife is a multi everything person. She'll freely tell you she has ADHD. They've done quite well, and she has a farm, and on her farm, she has a pig. Yeah, I know. On a farm, they have cows and pigs and llamas and ducks and chickens, and that's where I get my duck eggs. And they're raising cows to take to the butcher. And when I was a young man or kid, my dad got tired of paying those prices for pork. Couldn't believe you're paying for pork when you're paying for pork. So he went into a deal with two other gentlemen. One gentleman had a little 5-acre farmlet. Another guy had nothing but time, young family GI. And my dad, who had no time but some extra cash. So dad made a deal with the gentleman. He said, tell you what we're going to do. I'll buy 3 piglets. You'll raise the 3 piglets on your property, and you'll help feed, take care of, and butcher. And I'll pay for the piglets and most of the feed. Everybody's like, good deal. So we raised the 3 pigs. I actually went with them and selected the 3 piglets, and we raised them up. Good deal. So I got to thinking, because I'm a carnivore and I can remember things now. And I said, well, I need to find a producer if they'll do the same thing. Went to the guy at church. I said, let's make a deal. He goes, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? I said, here's what I want to do. I want to buy a calf. I want you to raise the calf. And when it's all done, send it off to the butcher, package it, and I get it back. How much would that cost? I said, I don't know. I've never done that. Let me get back. I said, fine. Well, I paid a premium, but I bought the cow for $500. $500, the whole cow. Now, it's a little cow. could take 18 months or close to 2 years to grow up, but for 18 months, right? And then I've been paying him $200 for room and board. Room and board, 200. Cow, 500. Total, $700. Whole cow. Upon delivery in 18 months, it was already a 6-month-old calf. And then it goes to the butcher, and on average, it costs about $500 to process the cow. Cow goes in at one weight, becomes the hanging weight, becomes the wrapped weight. And I'm hoping to get close to 350, 400 pounds of meat when it's all said and done. So I get 400 pounds. I paid 500 and 200. That's 700, and 500 more. That's $1,200 roughly for the whole cow. $1,200, and I get about 400 pounds. Now I think I'll get 450, maybe even more. If I get 400 pounds out of that whole cow, I will have paid $3 a pound. I think that's a good price. Now, it is grass raised, it is grass fed. On occasion, it might get a little grain because I don't want total grass. I'm not used to that. It doesn't taste the same. But 1,200 pounds, $1,200. So what I did, I entered in the contract, I signed the contract, I put the $700, it's done. When processing time comes, I picked up 2 other friends. They just want a quarter cow. So I'm going to keep a whole side of the beef for myself. I'm going to share that cost to the other side between the 2 of them. And when they pay their fair share, that's going to more than cover what I've already paid. I won't pay any more money for this cow. So I will have paid $700 total for my cow. If at 200 pounds, half of the 400, that's 2 and a 7. That's not too bad. That is not too bad of a deal. And I'll probably not pay it. I'll probably end up making just a little bit of money back. So roughly $3 a pound for the whole cow. That's not bad. It's such a good deal. I'm going to go see if I can get on the list for another one now so we can every 6 months be on a delivery schedule because I'm going through some beef. So the next thing to do is for me to buy, I have to buy 2 more things. Hence why I went back to work. I went back to work because while the wife and I are comfortable and we can afford to live in retirement, buying $500 items and going on monthly vacations gets a pretty big chunk out of our discretionary income. So now I want to buy a really good vacuum sealer. I need to buy a full-size freezer, and I want to buy a decent grinder. That way I can grind up that extra meat. Hey, David Dory, how are you? How are you? Welcome, welcome. We're going to hear One Hope for All. We're talking about some biffs. Yeah, it's not bad at all. I could probably drive a better bargain if I want to. Yeah, El Paso. Love your videos. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate that. David's West Side, right? You a West Side? I'm Northeast. I don't know how to do it in North. I'm Northeast. Yeah, I remember the West Side. I got some friends. I have some friends who still live in that area. My aunt lived off of Scenic Drive, just around the bend, so she considered herself on the West Side, obviously. But and you know the lowest tower on the mountain. So if you're looking at the mountain from your house all the way to the right, headed to the south, right? The TV antennas on the mountain. So, going up the mountain. Yeah. The one at the lowest height, I think that's the NBC KTSM. I don't know. I can't remember. Channel 9. It used to be in the old day, I think. Anyway, the NBC tower. I used to work there as a really young kid. I used to maintain the road and do work around the studio. That's one of my first non-family jobs. And I was, I don't know, sophomore in high school, maybe. Well, it's a pretty good gig to have. But Yeah, Coronado. That's the high school. I was trying to remember. What was the school we always had to play over there back in the day? Coronado. Yep. I went to Irvin. Pardon me, a nutrition break. So, how you doing today, Dave? What's going on? I tell you what, you know what I'd like, David? I gotta find an El Paso connection I can trust because I would love to get some Hatch green chilies. I would. I would like some Hatch green chili. My dad did it for me one time, but he kind of I don't know what he did, but he bought a bag, he distributed to some friends, he left it in the bag for a few days, a week, I don't know. And then he put it in a box and then he put the burlap bag in a plastic bag in a brown box and sent it on a slow boat to China to me. And well, anyway, they got here a little rotten. So I hear the garage door going up. That means that the missus is home. That's awesome. I'm going to go and close my door real quick. Stand by while I roll out. Roll back in. Hey, do you all have office chairs at your house? I got this office chair, a broken down office chair. One of my wife's bosses, she had her own business. My wife was in the insurance business. Gave her this chair because it was all worn out, and it had the plastic wheels on the bottom, and they didn't work very well. I need to get another one, and the little air chamber you sit in and keeps you up and down, right? It was always in the down position. It wasn't working anymore. That's why we got it for free. Well, I wanted to go buy a chair. Didn't want to spend the money. Found out you can go to a company and order there's only two types of cylinders pretty much throughout the entire chair industry. And one of them is a predominant one, kind of like VHS and Beta, right? And I went and bought a kit. It came with a whole new cylinder, a cylinder extraction tool, because you have to have the extraction tool, and all new wheels. And the wheels on this thing are like roller skate wheels, the clear plastic, 360, roll on anything. You don't get caught up trying to roll your chair. And it was only like 30 something bucks. Redid the whole chair. Took me 30 minutes, Who knew you could do that? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. An office that was getting new furniture. So I got the chair and put the new things on it. The little cylinder works and the wheels roll nice. And I didn't have to pay a fortune. Unfortunately, though, all the fake leather is coming off the armrest in the back. That doesn't stick to my arms anymore, but that's okay. I probably still need to get another one. But yeah, I love me some carnivore, David. I tell you what, I had no idea how much I love me carnivore until I went off of it. Kind of fell off the proverbial wagon in at Halloween. I still remember the minute I made the poor decision. We were getting the candy ready for the kids, and every year since our little subdivision, well, for the first 4 years, our little subdivision was 20 something houses or something like that, maybe 35 houses, 2 streets, pretty good layout, and no kids because most people who move here are already up in their careers and the empty nesters almost. We have a few families with kids, but not that many children at all. Well, now we've had 14 subdivisions come in the last 3 years. So 3 or 4 of them were here, but they've grown. But we have literally, within 3 miles of my house, I would say there have been at least a dozen new subdivisions. Just going crazy. So we'll probably get more kids. But anyway, long story of it is, we don't have that many children come through. So we had a couple bags of candy, get the candy out for the Halloween, and put the candy in the bowl, put the bowl on the patio or the chair. Say, take what you want. We'll come back in a few hours, whatever. And there it was. little mini Reese's peanut butter cups, little mini Twixes, little tiny itty bitty Milky Ways. I said, I can have one or two, just one or two. 3 months later, all the weight back, all the inflammation back, all the problems and more. Yeah, I can't. I can't. I just can't. Well, I didn't want to be a January 1st guy. Oh, I'm making a new resolution. Oh, I promise I don't do it anymore. Right? I didn't want to be that person, so I waited. February rolled around. January 15th, I started thinking about it, going more keto. Let's drop some of it, And February 9th, on board. And I weighed today, and today I was like 287. 287. Started around about 310. So let's see. Today, looking at my schedule and look at this, it was, 283.6. So really close, 27 pounds since about the middle of February. So February to March, 2 months, real close to 30 pounds, 15 pounds a month. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened. I like to tell people, I didn't fall off the wagon. I exited the planet. Yeah. Oh, I have bad sweet tooth. I was just talking to the wife this morning about it. So, um, without going into too many details, I grew up in a good house with a mom and a dad and two brothers, a sister, cats and dogs, and all the good stuff. Um, and like many homes, there were things that were good and things that weren't great. Um, but discipline was something that was big in my house. Discipline was for real. And I ended up as the youngest of three boys, but I have a younger sister. The youngest of three boys. I really found myself seeking solace in pleasurable things like sugar. And I lost my mind. I've always had a bad sweet tooth. My mom used to tell me she had to check my pockets for sugar cubes or sugar packets because I would try to keep those and I would just eat those. A milestone today, 100 on carnivore. Congratulations, David. Well done, man. Muy bueno. That is awesome. No cheat days, no carbs, 75 pounds. That's absolutely amazing, man. Congratulations. I hope you're chronicling this. I hope you've kept some pictures or done something because, I don't know how old you are, David, or anything like that, but there are going to be people who don't recognize you, who haven't seen you in as you said, 100 days, roughly 3 months. There are going to be people who saw you at Thanksgiving. And if they see you now, they're going, where did David go? Who David said he was here. Where is he? David. Dude, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. That's great. It'd be great if you had a channel and can share that stuff. Might be some motivation for people, David. But you don't have to, obviously. Hello. So anyway, yeah, I had a real issue with sugars because I don't think it's just because I like the taste of sweet, which obviously I do. But I think I made it a psychological thing. And isn't it funny? You do a psychological thing like sugar, and it turns out to hurt you and make you have more challenges emotionally. Who'd have known? But yeah, no. So I did a lot of sugar, sweet stuff, and my dad was in the army out at Fort Bliss, right there, David, and we got stationed in Germany. And when we went to Germany, yeah, mom and dad's life changed a lot. Changed a lot. And alcohol became a big part of their lives. But we went to Germany, and lots of things happened, and I got more and more withdrawn and more in a fantasy world and just, withdrawn from a lot of things, going into my preteen years and stuff like that. That's when I picked up smoking and drinking, and I was 8 years old. And I wasn't drinking often, but any drinking I think at all is too much, let alone drinking at that young of an age. Smoking pretty regular too. My mom was a 3 pack a day smoker, so she wasn't going to miss the cigarettes. And lots of sugar and challenges, and then moved back to El Paso. And I was now, when I grew up, I went to the same kindergarten feeder, to the same grade school feeder, and then left. And when I came back, I was in, I was the odd kid out. But while we were in Germany, it's so small a community that the high school is only 300 people, all grades, including seventh and eighth. So when I got to seventh grade, I got on a bus with all the high schoolers, which included my 2 older brothers, and would go up to the high school and do classes there. Well, they had a snack closet, a little room, and that closet was a snack closet. And in between periods, it was just on your own personal recognizance. And I was a good worker. I was bagging groceries, and I had a newspaper route, and I would make a quarter profit on every paper I sold, and I would make $45 a day bagging groceries. And in 1974, that was a lot of money. Anyhow, I would eat a couple big hunks, Zagnuts, Almond Joy, Mounds, and Milky Ways every day. Now, I wasn't fat because I was really active, and my mom and dad fed us lots of meat and pretty high fat stuff, and never really ever had any sugar or soda at the house. Anyhow, go through life, take away the barriers, and no personal internal discipline. My wife, who just walked upstairs, my wife has discipline for days, discipline for a whole platoon, and not so much for me. And so sugar and food and reading became my go-to, and I stopped moving and I got big, got heavy. That's how it is. So I do have a problem with it. I can moderate. And I am moderating now on some things like alcohol. Fatty liver, no alcohol. I'm not against alcohol. I don't think it does you any good. I understand the social needs or social pressures, but it doesn't do any good. Not drinking is not a problem. I have alcohol here at the house. I'm not drinking. It doesn't bother me. I can be around people who drink, so that doesn't bother me. The challenge is always sweet tasting things. And I'm working through that now. That's what this is all about. Oh, you betcha, David, brother. Your grandmother had a huge sweet tooth, mom a little less me. All right. Well, that's good. That's really good for you, Sandra, because I tell you, um, there is a need and an okay place for some sweet things in our lives. I mean, I don't think God would have made a sweet fruit if he didn't, if they were going to be absolutely antithetical to our well-being, but in moderation and in consideration to where we are. And I was talking about that earlier. If you're in good physical health, if you're able to move and bend and lift and carry and exert force over prolonged periods of time, i.e., work, and it doesn't put you in the hospital or something like that. I mean, not crazy too much, but not being sedentary. And you want to do something different during the day or with your diet, you can do it. But you'll get out of shape. You'll get a chronic illness. And you're toast. It snowballs. In reading about fatty liver, of which I am the most lucky recipient thereof, in reading about fatty liver, and Dr. Ben Bickman, guy is awesome. It's almost unnerving how much I respect that guy and think highly about him. I don't have a man crush, but if I definitely have deep respects for him. And respects means on multiple levels. I can respect him in a lot of different ways. But he was remunerating and letting us know that once you get in that, it's kind of like getting caught like in the proverbial black hole gravitational pull, right? Once you start down that hill, it isn't a linear progression of the gravitational pull, because you're going downhill and the attractions and all that. It's logarithmic, exponential. So you get to a point in your metabolic dysregulation and your unhealthiness, hyperinsulinemia, all those things like that. You get into a point where now your liver is making fat 3 times as or 3 times greater than a person without fatty liver. Wow. What a double whammy. Hello, the floggings will continue until morale improves. Hi, I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Talk about oxymorons. But in knowing this, that's what drove me here lately. I have been dealing with this fatty liver knowingly for 4 years. And to know that it's the leading cause for liver transplant. And we don't even have to get into the medical mafia that wants to do gender reassignment on children because it's so profitable. And they'll keep them on pharmacology for the rest of their lives. They'll keep them in mental health probably for the rest of their lives. And it's so amazing, that they won't let you make up your mind on certain things, right? But gender reassignment, fine, go ahead. You're only 8 years old. Go ahead. How crazy is that? But the idea in that we each have a thing we got to worry about, right? You said, yeah, they are evil. That's absolutely. It's all about the money, And then you've got this huge liver transplant business, organ transplant. And when I was a kid, now riddle me this: when we were kids, so 70s, 80s, maybe even 60s. When you got a liver transplant, you had to have like the match of all matches. I mean, like a door had to open up and there had to be like lights and auras and angels and as you got this magical match, and they'd give you the transplant. Maybe it would take, maybe it wouldn't. So they did lots of work, and they were able to make it to where you could get these anti-rejection drugs and take them probably for the rest of your life. But you'd have a life with someone else's liver. Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't live in China. They'll take them with or without you, right? So it's just big business. And the ALT, AST used to be, if you had an ALT or AST above 25, you were in shaky ground, mister. You better take care of yourself, Mr., sister. Now it's like, well, I don't really care as long as, let's go to 49, because we're going to be able to get, if you're unhealthy longer, you're going to raise the likelihood of needing a transplant, and I can buy another house. Absolutely crazy. Yep, they do. They do. They'll kill for the organs, and I tell you what, it's just criminal the way people have figured out how to make money off of the suffering of others. That's what I like about Dr. Berry looking at and moving forward to challenge the American Diabetes Association with a new organization. I'm on board with that, and I will write a check for that when his 501c3 comes live, and it's for real. I'll write a check to that and see what I can do to be just a little bit helpful, because I have a little bit of leftover from when I was doing politics, and I can't just spend it on anything. It has to go to 501c3. So maybe that'd be a place. But I do not believe the American Diabetic Association today is in the same place they might have been when they started, far as their focus. I do not. Yep. Amen, Dr. Barry. That's right. We got to be careful now. We don't want to elevate Dr. Barry to deity level, but he is putting his reputation and his name, right, on the line. And let's see, they said he was talking about how the ADA gets 500 million over the past few years. So over like a 3 or 4 year period, the American Diabetes Association received $500 million, $500 million from big pharma and big food. How is that? Yeah, it's amazing how you get these studies that come out saying it isn't so bad because they're using the NHANES and they're doing anything but placebo, controlled, double-blind controlled experiments in vivo, right? You're not going to get that. And we're having to prove it. It's almost like when you go to court, sometimes people can accuse you of something, and you have to prove that you didn't do something. Is very difficult. I mean, if you did something, it's a lot easier to prove. But someone just accuses you, like that. What was it? A principal? So I can't remember. It was in the Northeast. Recently, it was in the news. Some principal got in big trouble because they got a video of him making racial statements. Well, they just arrested the coach, the varsity coach, because the varsity coach put it together as a deep fake digital rendering. It never happened. So what does that mean? I think that means that we're all going to have to start carrying some type of monitor on ourselves. You know how you can get one for your car? You can you can put a camera on your car and it does, or on your house. I have one, and it just take videos, and it's taking videos and it overwrites after a week or two, just so you can prove what actually happened in an accident. I think we're going to need personal recorders, kind of like how cops have body cams. I'm going to need a personal recorder, front and back. I never said that. I've got proof I never said that. Don't deep fake me like that, because dishonest people are going to find ways around all the controls. Yes, they will. I don't raise anybody. Yep, that's right. I know that, Sandra. So, yep, car and house. I really start to believe we're going to probably need to have them with it. It's so problematic. You think about what we're doing here. What if someone were to accuse one of us for doing something? Now, lucky enough, this is recorded. But for everybody in the chat, it's hard. Someone can come in the chat and do something, be totally vile, and sign off, and it would take 6 months of cyber sleuthing and going through the courts to get anonymous records opened up, right? I remember a case where a gentleman was running for office in Montana, Utah, Wyoming, maybe Wyoming. He was in office, like a little town mayorship, something like that, city council. And someone wrote in anonymously, just giving him the working over, and very slanderous, very libelous, but slanderous when you say it, libels when you write it, right? Very, very off color things. And this guy was so offended, and it was so just horrible. He spent close to $1 million, I think, all in all, going to the different courts and arguing it from one court to another appeals court to a Supreme Court to a federal court, going all the way through to get the records and the whodunits of the anonymous posts on this forum for the newspaper forum. Came right back to that town, right back to one of his opponents. Yeah. So that's a tough day. All right, David, you got to go. All right, my brother. You take care. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy that beautiful weather down in El Paso, and have a good time. And I'll see you around the neighborhood. Maybe one time we can chat more about El Paso stuff. You can tell me what's going on downtown. You can tell me what's going on the west side. Maybe up to Alamogordo, Las Cruces area, or going all the way out to the east side. That'd be kind of nice. Or we can talk about the days when I was there doing stuff with Viva El Paso or whatever. Okay. You take care of yourself, buddy. Thanks. Bye. Oh yeah, it's interesting to run into someone from your hometown here. Yeah, David's from the same place I am, other side of town. Big town. A lot of people don't know how big El Paso is, but it's a pretty good sized town. But interesting to run into him. Just as interesting as it was to run into all those people on that one Facebook page who are within a couple hours where I live, who are carnivores also. Probably even more than that who aren't on that page. I think I think a lot of people tend to be carnivore because, quite honestly, how do they define carnivore? My understanding was if 70% of your dietary intake comes from animal sources, so cheese, eggs, meat, you know, uh, dairy, and seafood, right? If 70% of your calories come from that, you're a carnivore. Now, where you are on that spectrum of carnivore, obviously there are fruitarians who just eat fruit and vegetarians who only eat fruits and vegetables, right? But they're by and large a much smaller group and they don't normally stay on it too long. And unfortunately, I know that there are some people who do well on a vegan diet for a period of time. And maybe the trade-off is worth it for what they're working towards and what they're trying to fix. But it is not a sustainable lifelong thing. And the statistics seem to be, statistics are what you make them, that most people who are proclaiming to be some form, you got, I don't know all the different levels of, from vegan all the way I know they have the eggivore ones and the whatever, but I'm just saying, if you're not a meat eater, right? But a lot of them actually do eat meat product, and they need to because it's important. I understand some people will be emotionally and maybe even intellectually adverse to eating animals and don't like the way they're brought to market. Totally get that. Totally get it. That's your thing. I'm not going to judge or hate on you. Well, it's interesting, and even in the carnivore quote unquote community, what is interesting is the people who are um, devout in that regard, how rigid they are to the point of denigrating the people around them. And I think that's problematic. CB Carmack, how are you? You're 99. If you count coffee a little bit, yeah. Mr. Scott is doing all right. All right. How about yourself? You good? You good? You good? Good? I went out today, went into the mean streets of Huntsville today, looking for this, that, and another. Went over to Redstone, did some shopping at Redstone. I'm done, and I thought I would do a live. I haven't done one of these in a long time, and it's more of an open mic night, if you want to call it that. Matter of fact, I hadn't done this yet, but I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll put the link to being on right there in the comments. And if you ever want to just come up live with me, let me know. Just don't even let me know. Just do it. I'll see you come up in the green room, and I'll bring you up. But yeah, I got some coffee today. Matter of fact, I'll have a little bit of that coffee right now to wet my whistle. Pardon me. That's good. Oh, we are. Yeah, we are pretty close. I was thinking, um, because that World Carnivore Tribe, and I asked, "Hey, anybody out there from around here?" And we got all the replies back. I said, "I think we ought to try to do a meetup somewhere here in town. Maybe maybe somewhere in Madison because that would help the people out towards Decatur. And just see, get 4 or 5 of us together. Green room, green. Oh, the green room. Sorry, uh, my days in theater. The green room is when you hit that link. I'll see you come up. You won't be in the show. You'll be in a holding area, digital holding area. And when I bring you active, you back up. In acting, they'll call it the green room. When actors aren't on stage, they don't want them all hanging around backstage all the time. They don't have immediate entrance and exit. They might not come in for till the second act. Well, they hang out in the green room until it's time. Desanye, how you doing, brother? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, yep. You've always wanted to move to Texas? Yeah, it's a big state. A lot of things you can find. Hill country around between San Antonio and Austin. Beautiful area. Mostly. I lived out in West Texas, and my first assignment was in Abilene. Yeah. Hey, what's up, brother? How about that weather here? How about them tornadoes out there in the Midwest? Oof. Well, if you're going to move to Texas, you'll be in a red state. But if you move around Austin or the Hill Country, you will not be in a red state. You'll be in a red state, but you'll be in a blue area. Yep. Oh well, on YouTube, the green room. Yeah, I think that's kind of the way they call it, the ante room, I guess, with green room. But yep, that's kind of what I think they call it, even in StreamYard that I'm using here. Yeah, very strong warm south winds here. Yep, sunny. Yeah, it's nice here overall. I kind of actually it's overcast, but I'll take it. Matter of fact, in a little while, I'm gonna go out and I am going to fertilize the yard. I like to have a little hand one where you crank it and it spits it out, throws it out, gives me my steps, and I have about almost 1.5 acres to cover. So, but I won't do all of it. I'll do the front yard, the fenced in part of the backyard, the back. As I affectionately refer to it, the back 40. The back 40 feet. No, I'm not going to worry about that. We let that. It's au natural. I'm not going to worry about that. I cut it, and that's enough. Yeah, it was really bad for those tornadoes yesterday in Nebraska. When I saw that they were on the ground by Lincoln, that's when I was in office. That's where I worked, and then of course it's the capital. And then it went through parts of town. I know people in those areas, and my son's not too far away. But he and his family are good. I have not heard that anybody that I know personally was hurt or that I personally know that had their homes damaged. But a lot of homes got damaged and there were tornadoes all over. But it's springtime. It's what's going to happen. I'm sorry. It's a horrible thing, but it's the truth. So I do have the link in there if anybody wants to jump into the swimming pool here. Share some mic time, share some thoughts and ideas that are on your heart. This is a quote unquote carnivore community, but there are so many things that make us who we are that are way above just doing what we eat. And I know Sonia, you like to do what I would consider extreme biking, but I know you're big into cycling and particularly either long distances or up cliffs. And I don't know how you do up cliff both ways, but I'm sure you find a way. Yeah. So your daughter's an actress. Oh, that's nice. And I was an Oprah green room many years ago. Wish I was never have to find out what she's been doing in the past years. And worse. Well, yeah, it's a tough time. I've done acting. I've been in some movies. I was in the first Dune movie as an extra, but I have a prop, a Chris knife. I was in a movie with Kevin Costner. I was a stunt double and a stand-in. I was in a German movie as just an extra. And then I've done a lot of feature extras and movies in and around Huntsville and in Atlanta. And I've been in a web series. We just finished the web series called Bermuda City, just like Bermuda Island. Bermuda City. It's a sci-fi whodunit type thing. I play a very, very bad guy, not a good guy. And then, yeah, that's pretty much. And then I did theater and stuff like that for a number of years when I was younger. But I've pretty much worked all that out of my system. I get all my acting and thespian needs taken care of being here with you. Yes, I do. Oh, that's on, yeah. Did a hard 62-mile ride this morning. Legs are hurting. The last half was all tailwind. I bet you were rolling fast if you had a tailwind, better than a headwind, that's for sure. I understood what you I get you. I understand what that whole green room thing is for. Yeah, so your daughter's an actress, so that's awesome. Hopefully, she's making a living wage. A lot of actors and actresses, I think the average is less for a working actor or actress to make $30,000 a year is pretty much hitting the pinnacle. Hence why I went in the military. No, I did this one movie, that Kevin Costner was in, and, it was Fandango back about 1982, 82? Yeah, 82-ish, and, that was great. I had a great experience with it, and then, uh I decided to join the military, and in the late summer, early fall of 1984, Kevin and I we'd become friends. I talked on the phone a bunch, and we knew who we were, and I knew his wife and stuff like that. And he called me to say, "Hey, he'd been trying to get a hold of me because he was filming a movie in New Mexico, and did I want to be a part of it?" Like, yeah, man. I said, when? He told me. I was like, "My getting broken heart." I said, "How long is the shoot?" And he said about 6, 8 weeks. I was like, I was going into basic training, and I had waited 9 months. I did my 3rd time trying to get in the military, and I've been waiting 9 months to get in, and I was like, "I'm going into basic training." He was, "Oh, man." That movie, Silverado, and I would have had a full up role, but that's okay. God had a plan for me, a much better plan for me, I'm sure, anything that Hollywood had for me. Mhm. Yep. Yeah. See, me, I wish I could have made kind of, but felt bad time. I would have went if he kept the. Oh yeah, I get it. I get it. I had a great time there. About 25 people, give or take, plus or minus, made it. Um, 15 people had to bail on him for different reasons. Like I know Brett from Hoosier Carnivore, he was planning, he was in Florida, and he was to come back from a Florida vacation, swing through, stay there, go to that, spend the night, and then head back up there to Indiana. Who he's having his right today. The two of them today. There's one up in Indiana, up in Indiana, and there's another one in North Carolina, I think today. Anyhow, I'm sure Kip would have liked the other people to come by and have made it, but it is what it is. So if we can put something together, CB, if we can get something where we can get 10 or so of us to meet somewhere in the Madison Huntsville area, I think that'd be awesome. I have to find a place we can either go and bring grills and do a BYOB, bring your own beef, or go to a place that has a good menu selection of meat, and we'll see. Maybe we can work something out. It doesn't have to be all of us, but if we get 8 or 10 of us, a couple of us have been doing it for a while. A couple people in the group have been doing it for a while. It'd be great to have an emergency, support network. If you get weak like I do sometimes around the holidays, that'd be awesome. Sandra, it's very hard for her as a good Catholic girl needing to sift through. Yep, yep. Makes good as a nanny. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I tell you, I did the whole acting thing, and so here's what I learned. First, I'm not a good actor. I'm not, and I have a little bit of a speech impediment. And if you ever notice, I have to wear my hearing aids. My hearing aids are in, and this isn't leading man. And I went. Well, that's not a true statement. I've seen pretty horrific looking men who did, like William Defoe, right? But I did a small, like, independent movie one time, and what I was asked to do was beyond what I was willing to do. They didn't make the shoot that night, So I was really having a hard time, and I thought I was getting a different role. And then the role I was given, I was asked to do something I didn't want to do. So I called the director up and I said, "I can't do this. I have a qualm. I have an issue with what appears to be nudity in the scene and with another woman, and I'm not going to do it." And it was just her, not even me, just her. But I'm not going to do it. And he says, "That's not happening." I said, "Well, it is." He goes, "No, it's not." I said, "Well, I got a master's degree. I know how to read. Let's look at the script." We looked at the script and went over. He goes, "Oh, well, that's not right. Let's take that out right now." Boom, boom, boom. Well, okay. So I went ahead and I did the thing, and it was still objectionable. And I said to myself, "Self, I'm not going to do this anymore." And so I finished up my role in Bermuda City that was shot in and around here in Huntsville. I finished up that web series, and unless someone came back and said, "Hey, we need a really big, loud guy to do some stuff," well, maybe I reconsider it, but not right now. Yeah. Yeah. You're too kind. You're too kind. Yeah, no, so the thing is I like to do it. I like doing theatrical stuff. I like acting. I like musicals. I really love musicals. It'd be really good if I knew how to sing. I mean, I can sing really loud. My voice can be projected quite well. But my singing tone, well, the singing tone is actually pretty good. But I have no clue. I don't. Oh, I'm supposed to do what in what key? I'll sing in any key I want to at any time I want to. Just watch me. So, hey, Keyboard Candy, how are you? How are you? How are you? Welcome to the house of Scotty P. We're just in here having like an open mic night. If you go up into the comments up a little higher, there's a link to if you want to join in. If you have a camera and your audio is ready, you can always join in. There it is. I just threw it in again. Just kind of like an open mic day. Yeah, I do voiceovers. I looked into that, and the VA and my GI Bill and all that stuff. They would pay for me to go to a school. I know a gentleman um, in the I won't say in the Atlanta area who does that, but that too is hard. Now, the other day I was having fun. I made up this last video, the last one I posted with the Riddler, and I did some voiceover reading of the medical journals, and I can put the bass in my voice, and I can modulate, and I have all sorts of little tools I can mess with it. But I was reading it, just and you need folate because folate without the ums and ahs. I mean, I like to do that, but all those things. Oh, you have company on the way? Okay, don't worry about that, Candy. I appreciate you dropping in. Make sure you press the like button and share it. And thank you for the comment. And go watch the video if you can. Shameless plug. A shameless plug to go watch my video on Riddle Me This. I was thinking about the old Batman and Robin. Pow, fuck, bam. And have a little fun with that to talk about folate. As you remember earlier on, Sandra, we were talking about folate and how important it is, and how if you're a carnivore and you're not eating seafood, if you're not eating eggs, a quantity of eggs each day, and you're not eating liver because you don't like the taste of liver, you could be setting yourself up for a pretty big fall, a folate fall, a B9 that's been gone can actually hurt you. So make sure you get your folate. That's all I got to say about that. Yes. Yes, get your B9. And you can cut that up a lot of different ways. And you can say folic acid and all that. And when we normally say, does that normally happen that way? That's what your supplements mainly come in. Your food is enriched with, which, by the way, riddle me this. How is it that the enriched flour is good for you? Well, because they had to enrich it. Why'd they enrich it? They enriched it because they took what was good. If there was anything good, they took it all out. Hey, You know what? I hear is that bells I'm hearing or something like that? There's some bells I'm hearing here? I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if I'm hearing bells. I'm not hearing no stinking bells. Oh, here you go. Bada bing. There he is. The man, the myth, the legend, ladies and gentlemen. I don't hear you, man. Do you hear me? Does anybody hear me? Can someone give a spam a 1? Hello, hello. Huh. Stand by. I might have broke it. Stand by. Huh. Let's do this. And let's do that. Hello, hello. Huh. What in the Sam Hill happened here? Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh. Stand by. Are you hearing me at all? Oh, good. I don't hear me. I broke my own audio. That's okay. I'll fix it. If everybody, oh, you can hear me. Oh, yeah, right. I thought so. Stand by. Hang on. Let me do this real quick. I don't know what's going on here with my huh. Huh. No, 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 I don't hear. Let me put my high tech, super high grade phonograms in here. See if I'm getting anything. I'm not even showing anything. My monitor mix is completely off. His mic's not muted, and I can tell I don't have anything on. What happened was I know what I did wrong here. I touched something here, and what I need to do. Stand by. Boom, boom, boom. Do, do, do. All right. I'm going to have to do one. Oh, wait a minute. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Now, you can hear me? I can't hear you at all, brother. I don't know what happened, man. What did you do? All right, he just left. I'm not hearing anything either, but hang on. Hello, hello. Is there anybody out there? Wouldn't you know this is going to happen? Huh. Oh, sometimes technology is the enabler for you, right? So we're going to take that down, take that out of the picture, put that back up, add stage.
All right. Boom.
You're good.
Yeah. I just backed out and went back in.
Okay. Well, I had something else that wasn't working quite right either, so I went ahead and rebooted it while we were rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for sticking with us.
Well, I just thought I'd stop in and say hi real quick. Just to say hi and kind of catch up a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the weather out here, man, is fantastic. I did my Saturday morning ride with a pretty big group of guys and a couple of gals, like 100K, well, 100 kilometers, 62 miles. And it was kind of slow going the first half because we were heading kind of into the wind and a pretty good crosswind. And then once we kind of looped around past the halfway point, it was pretty much all tailwind. And so a little bit of a crosswind component, but most all of it was tailwind. So we were flying. I mean, winds here, there's gusts to 36, 38 mile an hour over here. So, 20, 25 mile an hour winds with some pretty good gusts. So the ride back was fast, very fast.
People are asking, where's here?
Oh, South Louisiana near Lafayette area.
Okay, I remember Lafayette because I went. I think I told you I went to the Cajun Dome. Is there, right?
Yeah, it's just 10 minutes away.
So when Katrina popped off,
mm-hmm.
That so that was like a Tuesday, Wednesday type of thing.
Right.
And then I was at church on Sunday, and we were sending a medical team with medical supplies down. And the pastor put out a call, and I ended up going with them because not only my weather background, but combat lifesaver and amateur radio and big ugly guy. So
Yeah.
to protect people.
I have
And
my ham license as well.
yeah, KC5AYS.
Oh, KI5 November Tango Golf.
There you go.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I went down to Lafayette, is where we set up at a church.
Hmm.
We went to New Iberia. And then I reported up to the Cajun Dome. You want to hear a funny story almost?
Go ahead.
Okay, it's almost funny, okay? So here's what happened. First day I'm there, things are pretty chaotic there, And the chaotic part is a lot of people lost a lot of stuff. They actually were housing people from New Orleans and everywhere up in the Cajun Dome. So I get there, and it's a very chaotic. And we've got a lot of medical people, a lot of security running around, and we have a situation. A young lady in her mid 20s, 5'7", 225, thick,
Big old gal.
not bulbous, but just thick. Well, just mangled words to me when we did the code. Yeah, we'd given our call signs. Everybody's an amateur radio operator. You get a call sign. You can actually tell things about that person by the numbers involved in the call sign, by what region they are and what level. At least in the old days.
Yeah.
But I'm a no code tech. That's all I wanted. But anyhow, well, this young lady was having the beginnings of a psychiatric moment. All right.
Hmm.
And she wanted her mama, and she was nearly suicidal, and things were getting pretty spun up pretty quick. And I had the brilliant idea when nothing else was working. I said, hey, look, she says she wants her mama. She knows where her mama is. Why don't we get her mom? So they looked at me and said, okay, go ahead. Well, I asked the young lady, she's not very communicative. All I could get out of her was, are you close to where you sleep, where you go to the bathroom, or where you get food? Because then when I got into the actual floor of the Cajun Dome, right, I could knowing where food is served, I could approximately, right? Well, I went down there, and about a minute after I got on the floor, all the lights went out. Just the hallway lights went, because it was 10 o'clock, lights out. I'm looking for this African American girl's mom on the floor with no lights. Do you see the irony in that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I go back to the office and I say, the absence of light has made it a little difficult. And I'm not going to be shining flashlights in people's faces. Now look at me, I'm pretty bright. You lost me again? Oh, I can't hear you at all, buddy. You blacked out, and then you came back in closer, and there's no audio. Your carrier doesn't like you. So to continue on with my story, so I go back to the office and I say, and the girl is now even more spun up, and getting hard to control, because these aren't people equipped to take care of a large, emotionally distressed person acting out. So I said, look, let's do this. She knows where her mother is. Let's just take her to her mom. And they're like, how? And I was like, well, I'll go, and you three will go, and you two will go. And between the six of us, I was right there with her loosely. And then we had everybody else kind of following, not like an entourage with security, but loosely following 2-3 people away. Just kind of, if things went south, we could coalesce around the issue. So everybody had extra towels. We brought towels. The great for restraint. Anyway, Um, she went straight down, straight to her mom. And she, Mama, Mama, and she had a moment with mom. And mom was like, "What's this all about?" And we're like, "Well, blah 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 blah." And she's always talking about wanting to kill herself. She's never killed herself before. Anyway, mom said, "I don't care. I don't want it," because they wanted to take her off campus to get some professional treatment, and they didn't have the authority to do that. So going to mom, she, "I don't care. You do what you want to. She's a big girl. It's not my responsibility." And uh, anyway, well, consequences. So we were able to gather her up. She gave mom a hug, and all tear, and then we kind of came with her and gave her some love and took her back up. And a couple hours later, I saw her restrained in a wheelchair going down. I helped to take her down at the escalator. Now, if you remember correctly, I said she was a stout young lady, and we were on the escalator, but there's no power. So we had to take the wheelchair and just pick it up, step at a time, down the escalator. Very hard on the back. But anyway, very rewarding to know that we were able to facilitate something and get her the care she needed and get rid of the legal challenges. But there was lots of stuff where it's where I was part of what I refer to one of the major miracles I got the chance to be associated with. I did not do it. I'd had nothing with it. I was just a useful tool. They had a real significant need for Enfamil, is a special formula for babies, and they couldn't find any. Nobody could find Enfamil, and there are babies that were in need of it. So people look around for the Enfamil, and I've got a truck, and I got a trailer, and I got a buddy, and we're now that we've gotten this kind of set up. Now that we've gotten set up at the yes. Now that we've got set up at the Cajun Dome and we've got our processes under control, I'm starting to take supplies out into the community because there are a lot of community places that we're helping out. And so one of the places we were sent to, now we all have our radios on and everybody's talking to everybody and doing their thing, and everybody's putting a call out for the Enfamil. No one has Enfamil. I got a load of stuff I was taking. What we do, we'd load up a vehicle and we put in all these different things between water and food and staples and medical stuff. And we put it in our trailers and trucks and we go to different places. And when you got there, they would take what they needed, right? I went to a Buddhist monastery not too far from New Iberia. You got to know where it is out there.
I know where it's at.
Long, low walls, pagoda roofs. I pull into there. This place is beautiful. It's like every postcard you've ever seen beautiful.
Yeah. It's
Lots of little folks running around, Oriental in nature, doing their thing. Well, we come up to the community hall center, and Mama San was there. And Mama San had the command of the English language, and she was like, "What do you have?" I said, "I got a truck full of stuff. Take a look." She called out, "Hey, Susan." She called out and went to. You got some guys who crawled over everything. They wrapped some language, their native language, whether Thai or whatever. They wrapped that language. Bunch of guys came, offloaded my trailer, and left the things they didn't need, right? Like some diapers and whatever else. Everything else gone, right? Like a horde of locusts, right? And their trucks lined up on either side of me. In the truck next to me, they went into it, left out, and I looked in there, and you know what they had in there? They had a whole pallet of Enfamil.
Oh, nice.
And I said to the lady, "I need to find a way to get that into my vehicle." I already talked to the guy, so I can get to go to the Cajun Dome because he was not going back to the Cajun Dome. And she told her guys motored it all over there. And I got on the radio and I called the Cajun Dome saying, "I'm coming in with a whole pallet of Enfamil." And I said to myself, this is a miracle I was able to be a part of, to always hold it in my heart at the lowest moments, have to pull it out, dust it off and say, miracles have happened in your life and they'll happen again. So that's my miracle story. That's all I got.
You know, I was my I was stationed at Stennis Space Center at that time when Katrina came through. I was just prior to Stennis. I was stationed at Keesler. We were living in Slidell. I was an instructor duty at Keesler at the C School, and I finished my 3-year stint there, and they transferred me to Stennis Space Center to finish out my 20 years,
Right.
which was wonderful. But then Katrina hit not too long after that. My wife and I, because I grew up here in the Lafayette area, so we evacuated here and spent a couple of weeks here before we can. They told us to, hey, come back to the base, but my neighborhood was heavily flooded. Luckily, I don't know how it happened, but me and a handful of people on my little block, none of us flooded. So, it was a miracle. And but the bad thing about it was I kind of got this what do you call it? Survivor syndrome, or survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
Because you're like the only one. It's almost like everybody was looking at you with scorn because you didn't suffer like they did. And I really had some anxiety issues. I was surprised that, when somebody had told me like, yeah, what's going on, where you're suffering from survivor's guilt, anyway.
It's a real type of PTSD that people don't deal with. And, we get to see it a lot in the military, because, if you're in a foxhole, the guy, and he doesn't make it and you do, right? But it happens in a lot of different ways. It happens to firemen, it happens to policemen. So I totally get that. And I hope that you found a coping mechanism. Is that a big driver for cycling?
Not so much. I mean, for me, it was just time,
Yeah.
It was time. And, they had a lot of like the base, Stennis Space Center. It's not really a base, but the command, we had numerous commands there. We had a couple of different Navy commands there, but they had a bunch of counseling there, like group counseling for people to talk about all the stress, and, they had a lot of people that were just stressed out from losing their houses, especially people like that were living in Waveland and Pass Christian, Mississippi. I mean, there was just a total losses there. So, I found that very beneficial, but it was mostly it was a time thing as time kind of stretched out. But yeah, it was terrible. It looked like it's almost like a tsunami went through
Sure.
southern Mississippi. It was terrible. Especially once you kind of just to the outside of Slidell was when it just became just total. It was total devastation from the tidal surge.
A lot of people don't realize that. Of course, we do. We're weather guys, and you live through it. It's the amazing power in water and everything.
Yeah.
So CB, I see you got that text from a friend. Yep, notice the benefits. Shocked, going carnival. Yep, I tell you, people are starting to realize it, right and left. Because look, I mean, it's right in front of you with so many people. I mean, when your auntie, your nice dear auntie or your uncle or someone in your family who you've known is 150, 200 pounds overweight, you don't see him for a year or so, and then all of a sudden there you are. We had a guy on earlier, David Dory. He was on and he lost 75 pounds in the last 100 days. There are people who are not going to, they're like, I got to know. I mean, I know you. I know what you've been going through, and I see this improvement. Talk to me, Maverick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of feel like I'm running on cruise control with carnivore right now. I've been doing it for like about 450 days, so over a year. And I didn't start out really as overweight as many have started like mine, but I was about, look, now I'm 5'8", like just a smidgen over 5'8", so we'll just say 5'8", and I was about 216 at my peak.
Mhm.
And I'm about 170 now, and that's a lot of weight loss, and it's the visceral, like my gut is completely gone. And I mean, I'm pretty active too with biking. And before that, I was, for years I did, was kind of did a little bit of weightlifting and a little bit of jogging, but I was getting minimal at a lot of that. And then, but I had always grown up biking. So when I kind of got on keto, I started getting back on the bike again.
Right.
So, and ramped up the miles as my weight started dropping and I started feeling better. And, yeah, so, my blood pressure, I was at the point where the doctor was looking at, hey, if you can't get your blood pressure down with weight loss, we'll have to put you on blood pressure med.
You got a blood pressure cuff right there behind you.
Yes, I check it every few days, but it's always the same now. It's like it's always about 112 or over like 70-ish, like, so it's like really nice,
Oh,
it's
they say that, I didn't know this, so I almost didn't get into service because my blood pressure was a little elevated. But I was drinking 4 or 5 liters of soda a day, 2 or 3 gallons of beer.
yeah,
On all the wrong things. I mean,
yeah,
like, how if you had that way back machine and you can go back. If I went back and just what I know only about carnivore, not about all the other mistakes in my life, but only what I know about dietary stuff, it'd be so much different. So much different.
yeah. That, and like the other thing is, with people that do like lots of running events or biking events, they tend to like want to carb up and eat a
Right.
lot of carbs during their rides, all the energy drinks, which are highly sugared. And I was able to get myself, once I was fat adapted, the only thing I took with me today was 1.5 liters of water. I didn't take electrolytes with me today, but I probably should have. But I just drank water, and everybody else was gobbing down, massive amounts of carbs. You know, and most people just don't understand how I can do it, because actually, like, I got on the bike at 8 this morning. I didn't eat anything since about 3 p.m. yesterday. So, I didn't eat breakfast or anything until I got home at about noon, and then I ate. I had a big chuck roast slow cooking that just finished up a little while ago. So I was nibbling on that, and sparkling water, just unflavored sparkling water.
Yeah,
Um
I tell you that idea of carb loading, I think 3 or 4 years ago when I first started reading about all this stuff, maybe more that, maybe the 2018 timeframe, I was really big into listening to Stephen Finney
mhm,
and Volek, Steve Volek.
yeah,
Dr. Volek. I was listening to them a lot, and Dom DiAgostino. And I remember Finney was talking about working with people who do super endurance training, and he worked with a couple. There's a competition. I have no idea why people would do this, but people are so competitive. They have a competition for rowboating from San Diego or from San Francisco
yes,
to Hawaii.
yeah. No, I watched that, and it's phenomenal that they were able to do that basically on zero carbs. And
Peanut butter and oil, coconut oil.
yeah. Now, I'm a big fan of Professor Noakes, Tim Noakes,
Yeah,
who
yeah,
is
yeah.
an ex-marathon runner. He's like known as the godfather of carb loading. He's like the guy that, pretty much wrote the book on, you know, gorging on pasta the night before a big race, and then how much carbs to eat every hour while you're doing a marathon, or, how many carbs you need. Now he's lately put out new videos where they actually finally have been able to release all of the data of comparing fat adapted athletes before and after, and measuring their VO2 max VO2 levels, um, as well as their I think it's their slow twitch and fast twitch fiber action, muscle fiber action.
There's like 7 different fibers, but yeah.
It's The results clearly show that the fat adapted athletes can easily outperform the carb loaded ones, and
Mhm.
they've got the data to prove it. They've got the test results now, they've got everything. And he worked with a couple of different labs in Germany, and he's got a great video on this. He's put out videos before, but more of it was theory on why but now they've got the actual test data
Right.
of taking the same groups of people, carb loading them, and then transitioning them into fat. Once they were fat adapted, then they had the time to actually take measurements of what they can output on just no carbs. And they were easily able to outdo what they did while they were on carbs.
Right.
Um,
I watched him talking about, not no, I'm back to Finney. Finney was talking about who's a lady. She's an Olympic skiing champion. Got a lot of medals. Can't remember her name, but um,
maybe like recently, like Lindsey Vonn, maybe.
yeah, Lindsey Vonn. So he was coaching Lindsey Vonn, and no one knew this. And Lindsey Vonn was full carnivore, right?
Oh, okay.
And what she was able to do and why she was beating everybody, because she could train twice as long as anybody else could in the same amount of time. She twice as hard and everything. So she
Right.
was able to shave off those seconds by doing, without going through the glycogen load, but getting her system to be so fat adapted to be fast enough to replenish and to work without a serious lactic acid buildup. But hey, I want to address this thing that CB is saying here. So CB said, hey, that David with you? Yeah. Doesn't he look at food the same way? But earlier, CB was talking in here, a lot of small things as well, like body odor. So, I wanted to address that whole body odor thing. I was just this past week looking a lot into oh um lymphatic system, lymphatic drainage, because I've been having a problem. I got a cyst on the back of one of my knees. It's called a Baker's cyst. It's internal, and every time I get a little bit inflamed, that's the first place it go wiggity on me. So I know about lymph. I know about the lymph system. So I learned to do some lymph massage, and it worked really well. But if you have blockages in your lymph nodes, so I got to thinking about things. And I said, I've always had a challenge. I can take a shower, do all the soap, get dried, get out, and why I got a little BO yet, So I was like, I wonder. So here's what I did. I cleaned up and I took cotton swabs, put some apple cider vinegar on it, scrubbed down under the pits with apple cider vinegar, let it sit there for a minute or so. Then I rinsed off with clean water. For days, I had no odor. And then it came back slowly. I think I'm emptying out and cleaning out. So, people talk about oxalate dumping or all the stuff that's in your fat cells to sequester it from your body because it's poison or whatever. Well, you start using the fat, that stuff gets out. So it's kind of interesting to note in that maybe that's another indice. If you had to look at indicators, that once you start on a clean fuel source and you're moving things around and things are working right, might be a key. It may not be right away, but it might be something further down. I just wanted to talk and address what CB was saying there about that, and I thought that was a great thing. Carnivores or keto athlete, people don't think about it, but if you smell the socks into the, yeah, I don't. I'm gonna take your word on that. I do remember when I was a young kid playing football out in West Texas and all my military time, you didn't want to forget your gear in a bag for too many days in the car because the ammonia smell was bad, but then what grew after that was actually horrific.
Here's one thing that I have noticed I have read about this or heard and also heard about it or watched it on YouTube, but all of I wear white t-shirts quite a bit, just an undershirt, right? Well, all of my t-shirts for years, like they always get the yellow kind of stain under your armpits, and even the white t-shirts tend to have this kind of dingy yellowing over time. Well, once I went carnivore and I had initially lost some weight. My wife bought me like about 2 or 3, like maybe a 3-pack of brand new t-shirts in a size smaller, and they fit me well. Those have been worn constantly and they no longer are yellow stained. Now, what I was told, and this makes sense, is that when you're eating all of these vegetable oils, they are dyed with a yellow like dye. They go, that dye goes throughout your body. It's into your cells, you're everywhere. And it actually seeps out of your skin.
Yeah, well,
I'm trying to remember who it was. Like maybe Judy Norton. Maybe I forget which one of the. It's like one of the dietary nurses that was mentioning this, and it might have been the gal that wrote the book, the big book on oxalates.
mhm.
Anyway, I that is amazing because I've had those shirts for months now, and like there is like no yellow dinginess under the armpits. The shirts come out like they're always white. When I'm done at the end of the day, I'll wash them. They have not yellowed at all, and I've done nothing except a diet change. Where of course I'm not taking in any type of seed oil.
Right.
So
For
there's
me,
got to be something to that, and I mean, just yet one more benefit that you notice. You know.
so I'm going to go back. Hopefully, I don't bother to get too boring. But in looking at the lymphatic system, one thing that was interesting is almost all your dietary fat is ingested and carried into your body via the lymphatic system. I didn't know if you knew that. So it goes into your lymph vessels, and the lymph vessels all go from the digestive tract, and they all go into your left side. So you have two sides for your
Mm-hmm.
lymphatic system. The right side only does part of the head and the right side of the body and the right arm. The rest, 75% of the body, all goes to the left side. And that left side is the side that gets what you get through your dietary manners. Okay. So fat is uptake or taken up in the lacteals. Lacteals go on further into biliary ducts, and it goes throughout your body. And it has to go through all those lymph nodes on the way. Okay. And particularly your left arm, right? Then it gets dumped into the portal vein, and the portal vein it goes into your liver and redistributed out. And your lymphatics, so all the fat you take in, so that means the colorants, right? And they're actually trying to develop a class of medications that are fat soluble, not water soluble, so that when you eat them, they don't get what happens. They call it first pass. So when most medications you eat, they go into your abdominal section, they go into either your stomach or your small intestines, and they get absorbed into your bloodstream. And
Right.
then they go into your liver for first pass, and your liver keeps most of it.
Yeah.
So they have to keep taking to get past that first pass. And they can use much less medicine by going into the hepatic portal first and bypassing the liver to all these different areas until it has to when it gets dumped in from the
Yeah.
top.
That's interesting. Yeah. Um. My You were talking about meds, but I haven't taken in. I'm not taking any meds anymore. Like I was taking cholesterol med. Uh, Stopped taking that. So I mean, that was really it. Luckily, I never did have to start taking blood pressure meds, but uh, I lucked out too. I recently had to get a new primary care doc because my other one transferred. So my new primary care doc is awesome because she's a big keto supporter.
Oh, good.
And so just before my first visit with her, where she wanted to set me up as a new patient, hey, just come in and we'll set you up as a new patient. Well, I brought with her my Own Your Labs blood work that I had done through oh the shoot, what's his name, Feldman. They have an organization called Own Your Labs where they'll set you up with do your own blood test, right? So I had that done, and I did the advanced lipid particle analysis, and that's all I had with me. And so I went to visit her, and look, this is a very young doctor. I want to say she looks barely over 21 years old. And I said, look, I told her that I basically eat a ketogenic diet, and she goes, oh, that's great because I really like the keto diet. I really like the benefits of that diet. And I said, look, I do have high cholesterol because I kind of explained my situation because I'm kind of a lean mass hyper responder, which kind of that new classification that Feldman's group has identified.
Right.
I showed her my blood work, which was, very detailed, and she was glancing at it, nodding her head, and then she goes, oh wow, you've got a lot of big fluffy LDL. You're a pattern A. all your LDL is pattern A. That's awesome. And I'm thinking she didn't even care that my LDL was 400.
No,
She just said, "Wow, your triglycerides are really low, and your HDL." But I think at that time, my HDL was like in the 90s, and she was like, "Wow, that's really awesome." And I was like, "Where are you from?" you know, thinking like expected her to flip out, but no, she said, "No, I'm familiar with this. I did when she was doing some type of intern work after med school. She was working with some cardiologists that were really big into keto,
yeah,
and she's very familiar with the advanced particle count for us. She said, "I wish everybody would do these tests instead of the standard, calculated." But because she likes these because they're measured. Everything's measured, not calculated.
it's all about it's a profit margins, right? And what insurance will pay for and what you have to do and standards of care. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think this really points to that old adage of that what a physician heal thyself. We're responsible to know as much as we can, and we should only surrender what we need to someone else, And I mean, I can see you have one medical concern there though that you're not really talking about much, David. I see those ugly veins all over your arm, so they might want to get that checked out. Uh,
I know.
you look like you're still pumped from your ride.
I know. Well, that could be, but I've just lost so much body fat eating gobs of fat. I mean,
I'm
I
just
eat like 70% of my calories is from saturated fat. Like I pretty much, I've spent a few times like trying to calculate what I eat, which is basically about 1.5 pounds of beef a day and a lot of saturated fat, like butter, some heavy whipping cream, because when I drink coffee, let's just say I'm not a true carnivore, I guess, because I do drink coffee. I drink black coffee with some heavy whipping cream.
carnivore is 70% or more of your dietary needs come from animal products.
Yeah, I mean, I take in a lot of fat, and I mean, I've never felt better. I mean, my digestive system is really running well. No types of, everybody was, because you're not eating fiber, everybody freaks out. Well, you must be constipated. I'm like, no, I'm not constipated. Every 2 or 3 days, it's time, and it's not a lot. And the other thing is no gas, man.
Yeah, no bloating.
No bloating and no farting.
So keto or candy were you talking about Sally Norton as a person who was talking about the book on oxalates?
Yeah, Sally Norton, I believe. Yeah.
Right. And then Susan's talking about the vibration plate. And I was on that very same live and with Todd, and you're right. If you go to the vibration plate manufacturers, all of them, they'll tell you if you've had all sorts of things, you are not a candidate for it. So, but you can do leg pumps and stuff. That's matter of fact, Susan. That's where I started learning, and why the next day I went to a few websites and learned how to do They say you need to start right here. Always start at your collarbone, rubbing up and down, up and down, up and down. Tap, 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 circle, circle. Then behind your jaw, go here, behind your jaw, armpits, leg pits, behind the knees. Because the analogy that was given was, imagine that your sewer system at your house is blocked up, right? It doesn't matter if the block is at the street. It doesn't matter how many times you flush your toilet. It's not going to fix it. You got to take the block closest to where it can empty, right? So you work all this and you work all this down and all this down, and all that mixes right here. And you bring the legs up here. All you're doing is filling your body full of fluid. You need to make sure this is emptied first. Then you right from here, then the armpits for the axillary, then your leg pits and behind your knees, and get your feet up in the air some. And I'm going to tell you what, that really, really worked. So I'm going to get through some of these real quick. I agree with you, Sen. No, not boring. Good to get data. Carmack, of 7 of my med, 7 of 7 med, type 2 diabetes reverse, acid reflux, blood pressure. All right. Well, it's like guys say, it's like a country western song being played backwards. You're getting everything back, right? That's what I think about that. That's awesome. Uh, Good. Yep. Definitely carnivore. And carnivores don't have waste to dispose like sad. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Hey,
And your
you
fat
know what happened?
take has a lot to do with that too.
I had an interesting experience a couple of weeks ago for the solar eclipse. Two of my high school friends wanted me to drive to Texas with them from here to get to the 100% swath. So we did that.
Yeah.
And I've been friends with them since I was a little kid, since like kindergarten, first grade.
Mhm.
Anyway, both of them would be categorized as morbidly obese.
Okay.
They are both on Ozempic and high blood pressure meds. And one of them is type 2 diabetic, and I know he injects insulin. The other one, not yet. And I was the one that was getting grief for ordering like 6 hamburger patties at the restaurant we went to. They're like, "What do you do? Why are you eating that?" I'm like, "Because it's all I eat. I just eat ground meat, when I'm on a trip, or steak or whatever." And this place didn't have steak. They was a hamburger joint, and they got them right off the grill. They were just grilling burgers, some really nice fat juicy burgers. So I just said, "Hey, I think I ordered 5 actually, because they were the smaller patties." No, actually, I ordered 6 patties because they weren't quite quarter pounders. And I'm like, well, if I don't eat all of these, I'll just bring them home. Anyway, it was just funny how the two of the most, they're so unhealthy. And I try not to lecture them, but when they like kind of got on me about like, "Man, you're going to kill yourself eating that stuff." And I'm thinking like, I'm going to kill myself. I'm like, are you guys kidding me, man? It's like, y'all are both obese and continuing. They're both on Ozempic, but they keep eating the same things they used to eat, just less of it, I guess, because their stomach's paralyzed.
Right.
What Ozempic does, it basically paralyzes your stomach from everything I've read.
And
But
there's significant downstream effects on this, they're not wanting to talk about it. They're not wanting to share anything about it. And I'm like, boys and girls, you wait, and then you're going to be going, but, and yeah, there'd be no but. Your body's going to explode.
I was on X this afternoon, just before I saw your live feed going on.
Uh huh.
And there's an article on X. I wish I can remember who did, but there is an initial report about Ozempic. There's apparently one of the side effects that seems to be very serious that's just popped up is ED, erectile disorder.
I've heard of
And
it.
that seems to be extremely common with people that are on, well, men that are on Ozempic. So I didn't get a chance to read the whole article. I was just kind of scanning through it. And I'm
Right.
thinking, well, that's interesting. Now they'll give you another medication to solve that.
Right.
Which it's like, they just keep chasing symptoms that pop up when you're on some type of medication.
Well, isn't
But
that the whole idea behind a pharmacologically led life? Is that all we want to do is uh, chase with pills what we don't want to do. It's like we want. I don't mean to be bad, but it's almost as if we just want the. I'm looking for something specific here. We want the magic cure so that we can not have to do anything. We can sit and continue to
yeah,
our bad habits, but yet have good outcomes. What is that? The old thing about the definition of insanity?
yeah, doing the same thing over, expecting the same results or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I yeah, but yeah, the benefits I've had since going carnivore though they're just numerous. Especially just generally feeling so much better mentally.
Wow.
And one, I'm health just as healthy as I weigh what I weighed in the 10th grade. And
Wow.
I'm where I was almost in a 36 waist, and now I can easily wear a 30 now. um So I mean, I'm actually pretty slim now. My wife is not. She thinks I'm getting too skinny, and I'm like, I don't know I don't know what to tell you. I feel great. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm going to get much under 170 because I mean, once I got to 175, like my weight dropped really fast till I got to about 175, 76, and it's come down over the past like maybe 2 months, maybe another 3 or 4 pounds,
All right.
and I think I'm pretty much at that sweet spot for weight. So I don't, like I said, I don't think I'm going to lose that much more weight, because I'm not losing muscle mass because it's just all just excess water and visceral fat.
Well, I think there's a difference between, like I said, when someone gets to the homeostatic level of things,
Yeah.
when you're in that balance, what you're doing now is you're really, to coin that phrase, polishing turds. You're really trying. You're
Yeah.
a product of diminishing returns, right?
Yeah.
Or you're working at a maintenance type situation to maintain the health. And so the biomarkers that you can follow are going to be harder and harder to find, right?
Yeah.
The first big rocks are, hey, look, my pants are falling off, or hey, my weight's getting lower. Or then eventually you go, well, some of my test results are better. And then I got to buy a new wardrobe, because there's a finite universe of these measurements that will speak to your level of effort. Pretty
Yeah.
much, you're a walking billboard for what you're doing. And that's where we all need to be. I mean, when your waist is so small that when you lay in bed, you scratch your belly button and your back at the same time, between it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Funny. Hey, Scott, I have got somebody approaching my front door that's coming here for me to help him do something. So I'm going to need to punch out.
Right.
So
Have a good one, brother. Thank
yeah,
you.
man, it was good talking to you. And I'm gonna be going to the Hack Your Health in Austin at the end of May. So
Have fun.
yeah, I'm a carnivore soldier and quite a few people that I'm pretty good friends with lately.
Yeah.
It'll be a great meetup. So man, if ever, I didn't know if you were planning to go, but I hope okay. Well, great.
I
But
just
I'm
got
looking
another
forward
job,
to that.
so no.
Meeting the big YouTube stars as well, That'll
Oh,
be fun.
good.
Okay, well, you take care, and everybody, man, y'all stick to this diet, man.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Take care.
Bye.
All right.
So yeah, when we talk about the lymphatic massage, like I told you, I spent some time looking. I'm scrambling. I got new software for editing. That's why I made all those silly edits on my last video. They are due to me getting this. What do you call it? English as a second. Getting spun up on doing cooler things in the video. So I got DaVinci Resolve, and I was using that. And on the process of that, I've got a lot of videos I'm going through. Okay, this is the gentleman. I'm gonna share my screen here real quick. Here, let me see if I get to the point where he's gonna do it right there. Stop right there. Stop. All right. And I'm going to share my screen. Present. Share screen. Share screen. Yes, I talk to myself when I do these things. Share. And we're going to give him all of the screen. There it is. And we're going to go ahead and embiggen this. Okay, boom. All right. So this gentleman here, it's called The Big Six Routine for Lymph Flow by Dr. Perry Nickelston. I repeat, Nickelston, S-T-O-N. And what he has done is he's got this video here, and he's going to start showing. He said, he's going to say, see how hard he's rubbing right there on the shoulder, right there over. He said up and down over the collarbone, just left and right, right and left and right, up and down, and then tap it. Boom, 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 boom. And then you go to the other side. You do the same thing. Up and down, up and down, up and down, left and right, circle, right and left, circles, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A nice little pass. and that will help drain the lymph from your neck. And he continues on with that. And he goes and he gives a nice uh, presentation throughout the entire body. So again, if you're interested in the video, I'm going to make it a little smaller, and you can see here. Let me take this off the screen real quick, and then bigging it again. There it is. Can we move me away from here somehow? Maybe like this. No. How about we'll just go with this. There. The Big Six Routine for Lymph Flow by Dr. Perry Nicholson. That was absolutely earth-shaking information for me, and it worked out really well to show me what that was. I hope that helps for you all. Okay. So, the champion within. Hey, buddy. How are you? Down 96 pounds. All right. Amen, brother, man. How long you been doing it now, champion? How long you been how long you been running on this this tread here? Pretty good? Pretty long time? I hope so. That's good. Congratulations. Oh, there you go. Okay, Sandra, you got the order. That's right. I'm glad that everything's going good. Oh, saw the video last year, right? I've watched a bunch of them now. Pretty much, I think I got it, screenshotted it. Good. There you go. That stuff will work, and it's really helping me on my on that Baker's cyst behind my right leg that I found out was aggravated. So I've done this elimination diet. Last week, we had some ground meat, and I ended up putting a bunch of sour cream in it, and I ended up having a lot of pain. And you had a break there. Thank you, man. Thanks for spending your break time at your job here with us. Thank you so much. I know you have a lot of things you can do. All since July of 23. So in 1 year, 100 pounds. Man, that is amazing. That is simply amazing. Congratulations, brother, man. That is awesome. I've been at it now for, like I said, we'll really count middle of February. It's middle of February to middle of March and middle of April, right? 2 months. And I went down about 25 pounds. So I'll take it. I know the first 15 were the instant water loss. And after that, we'll have something else. And, that's the way that goes. But, no, I'm really working to stay with it because the goal is to be under 270 by my birthday in August. And that means I have 13, 14 pounds to go by August. So half of April April basically over. So May, June, and July, 3 months, 14 pounds should be doable if I stay strict. And that put me at about 269. And then from 269 would be to get under 250. And after 250 would be to get to 235. And at 235 pounds, I'll be like Arnold. And I'll just not be. And I hope I get off of my visceral area. That's where I need to go. But I want to do that sprinting thing that Sean O'Mara talks about. But this body at this weight does not sprint. I waddle quickly. I move with purpose, but I don't sprint. But I think if I get under 275, I can start sprinting. It takes a lot of wear and tear off my back and off of my knees. And at my age, I am going to be 62 this year. Age is a consideration at this condition, the condition of my condition. So got a cold plunge? Got the pool out back. It's cold. I'm not plunging. No. August 20th. Oh, mine's the 5th. I am defeat. Well, look at that. You share the muscles moving in my arm. I couldn't do that before because I was so fat you couldn't see so I'm getting a little bit more, I don't know, a little thinner. I'm no more muscular, but at least I don't have quite so much subcutaneous fat. All right, what do you have here? 3 minutes of your shower. Oh, yeah. I can do that. For every gram of carbs you ingest, your body holds 4 grams. That's right. 1 for 1. I think molecularly it's 2 to 1. but we don't need to split molecules amongst friends, do we? No. Yeah, it dumps water in a hurry. Yep. You sprint a lot. Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go and check some of that. You got a channel, right? I'm almost positive you got a channel. Oh, what a bad man I am. The champignon. That champignon within. Yep. Think about the champignon. Like I think that's yeah, there it is. Yeah, the champion within. I think that's yeah. Yeah. Now I know where I've seen all this. Yes. Sometimes I just have to put a visual cue with the name. Oh, I got all this red live thing. I think they're getting ready to boot me off. I don't think I have much more time I can be on here. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm gonna get in trouble here. So, yep, I got you, brother. I've been following you for a minute. I got you. Yeah. I just had to put two with two. So, yeah, my little light on my live counter is starting to tell me that I'm running. I think I'm running out of storage on my local storage or whatever they do. So I think what I'm gonna have to do, I think I'm gonna have to stick a fork in this. Oh, I have visceral fat. I got lots of visceral fat. I'm blessed with visceral fat. I have subcutaneous visceral. I have ectopic fat. My fat got fat. I mean, I'm getting narrow here in the face. Like I said, I'm getting narrow in the arms. You get a little bit of differentiation. My legs have differentiation, but my belly is like a bird, little bird legs. Okay, I don't have little legs, but no, I got me some visceral fat. I wish it was otherwise. Oh, hey, thank you. You're too kind. Thank you. That's awfully nice. Um, all right, you're gonna run too. All right, CB. Let's hey CB, let's work a way to get some digits, and we can figure a way to make some type of meeting between great minds and all that. All right. You take care of yourself. Be safe out there. And with that, I am going to let everybody get a little bit more of their day back. I'm going to let everybody get more of an opportunity to enjoy this beautiful Saturday afternoon, evening. All right. You all take care. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Thank you so much, Sandra, for being here and for supporting like you do. Thank you so much to the champ. Thank you so much to CB and everybody else who's come along the way. Susan, thank you too. I trust that all is going well for you. And I'm sure I'll see some of you out there on the circuit. All right. Take care. God bless. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Now, really, once I find the little button, there it is. Okay. Bye.